Notice of rescission of oath, or affirmation. Your name or organization. Your address. City, state, zip code. Email address. Phone number. Date. 2. Recipient's name or organization. Recipient's address. City, state, zip code. Subject. Formal notice of rescission of oath or affirmation. Dear, recipient's name. Legal basis for this notice. This letter serves as formal notification that the undersigned hereby rescinds and revokes any and all previously taken oaths, affirmations, or pledges that may have been administered under duress, fraud, misrepresentation, or without full disclosure of obligations and consequences. The rescission of any oath or affirmation is undertaken in accordance with constitutional rights, contract law principles, and legal doctrines regarding informed consent and voluntary obligation. Right to revoke any oath or affirmation. Any previous oath taken without full knowledge, voluntary consent, or under coercion is legally unenforceable. Jurisdiction and contractual limitations. The recipient must provide verifiable proof of any valid, binding obligation resulting from an oath if they claim such authority exists. Lack of legal standing for forced obligation. No legal or governmental authority may compel continued compliance with an oath that has been lawfully rescinded. Implications of rescission. Any continued assertion of obligation under a rescinded oath may be deemed fraudulent misrepresentation and legally contested. Immediate required actions. Acknowledge the rescission of oath or affirmation. The recipient must formally recognize this rescission and update any records accordingly. Cease and desist from any claims of obligation. Any continued assertion of duty, obligation, or liability based on a rescinded oath must be immediately withdrawn. Provide legal justification for any contrary claim. If the recipient contests this rescission, they must submit verifiable legal documentation supporting their assertion. Legal consequences for noncompliance. Failure to recognize and adhere to this rescission of oath or affirmation may result in legal challenges and civil rights violations. Any attempt to enforce a rescinded oath may lead to liability under contract law, civil rights statutes, and due process protections. Judicial and administrative review. Government and private entities may be subject to legal proceedings for attempting to impose obligations beyond lawful authority. Public and legal scrutiny. Any continued misrepresentation of a revoked oath may result in reputational harm, legal liability, and financial consequences. This notice serves as official documentation affirming that the undersigned has rescinded any and all previous oaths or affirmations. Any failure to recognize this rescission shall be subject to legal challenge and corrective action. A response addressing this matter is expected no later than specific date. If further clarification is required, you may contact me at your contact information. Sincerely. Your name. Your position, if applicable. Your organization name, if applicable. Enclosures, list any attached documents,